Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Elvius Void coming back with part 4 to What If Naruto Was Yoriichi's Reincarnation. Before we get into this, I would like to thank everybody for the growing support of this channel. And again, I'd just like to thank everyone, and would also like anybody who watches this to make sure to hit that subscribe button and that like button if you do enjoy this content on in this video. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. With where we left off, because the village is now without a leader, the village elders approach Jiraiya, one of the third Hokage's former pupils, and asks him to become the fifth Hokage. Jiraiya, however, declines his offer, saying that another one of the third's pupils would be better suited for the job, and that being Tsunade. But because Tsunade's whereabouts are unknown, Jiraiya offers to go to find her with the stipulation that he is able to bring Naruto Uzumaki with him, and the elders agree, except for Danzo. After Jiraiya tells Naruto about the upcoming mission, he promises of teaching him some chakra control techniques to help strengthen Naruto, as he seems to want to be a swordsman, and can also help in different techniques to help in swordsmanship, as he does know a few things about it. Naruto agrees to this and heads off to pack, and the two head out to find Tsunade. Meanwhile, two outsiders have entered the village and have caught the attention of Asuma Saratobi, as well as Kurenai Hyuhi, I think they say name. Once confronted about their presence in Konoha, the two reveal themselves to be Kisame, renegade ninja from Kiri, as well as Itachi Uchiha, the man who single-handedly murdered the entire Uchiha clan. A fight starts, but both Jonin of the Leaf just get clapped instantly, and are then backed up by Kakashi, who activates his Sharingan. But you already know what's going to happen. Kakashi just gets clapped by Itachi using Tsukuyomi on Kakashi. But before anything more can happen, with their lives being taken, Guy comes in and saves the day, saving everyone. And with the two Akatsuki members retreating as they see Guy as a threat to their safety, they don't want to start a full-out war with the village just of yet, and have now gotten the information that Naruto is now outside the village and not inside anymore. With some talk about what happened during the fight, Sasuke finds out about it and grabs his sword, and now knows that Naruto is being targeted by his brother, and now is going after Naruto, and he wants to help protect Naruto as well as want to kill his brother, so he leaves without anyone noticing. Meanwhile, Jiraiya and Naruto arrive at the nearby town's hotel, where they'll rest for the night. Jiraiya, being a pervert through and through, notices an attractive woman that shows interest in him, so that he can get acquainted with the woman. Jiraiya sends Naruto to their room. Jiraiya, not finding anything Jiraiya is doing interesting, he complies with it and heads to his room and practices breathing techniques, as well as combining those with chakra control exercises to strengthen himself to make his body even more powerful than it already is. While Naruto is concentrating, he hears a knock on the door and believes it's just Jiraiya, not using the see-through world all the time. Well, he does all the time because it's the only thing you can see really. But he doesn't check through the door and just believes it's Jiraiya, as he's still concentrating on his breathing techniques. He believes that Jiraiya has just been rejected by that sexy lady, and is opening the door, not noticing who is there before it's too late. Opening the door, he is greeted by Itachi, and Naruto is surprised by Itachi's eyes, recognizing that they are the Sharingan, and only believing that Sasuke has the Sharingan, as he has seen him use it all the time, and that he's from the Uchiha clan. Now realizing that this is Itachi's brother, he starts to back away. As Kisame readies his sword to cut off Naruto's leg, Naruto notices this and grabs the sword, which was on his waist, and uses the third form, Raging Suns, and unleashes two horizontal slashes to defend against the oncoming attack to Naruto. But before anything more can happen, Sasuke appears in front of the three. Sasuke, who is in a rage, takes his sword and uses the first form, Unknowing Fire, combined with the Chidori, and makes a high-speed dashes towards Itachi, ready to decapitate him. But before he can finish the move, Itachi counters and grabs Sasuke by the neck and slams him into the wall. To help Sasuke out, Naruto uses Sunflower Thrust and thrusts his sword to Itachi, who didn't notice him until it was too late, and is impaled into in his shoulder by Naruto's sword, but is released as he pushes away, as Naruto was just trying to get him off Sasuke. But before anything more can happen and get out of hand, Jiraiya appears, noticing and hearing the clashing of Naruto's sword strikes with Kisame, as well as Itachi slamming and a massive boom from when Itachi slammed Sasuke into the wall. Itachi and Kisame decide to retreat, as Itachi was injured, and with the three of them there's a possibility that one of them could die, so they decide to retreat. With Itachi and Kisame now gone, Naruto checks up on Sasuke and sees that he is fine, but internally Sasuke is angry. He is royally pissed. He thinks to himself that he was just too weak to do anything against his brother, and Naruto had to save him again, just like every other time he was in danger. It's always Naruto saving him. He wants to be the one that is in power and is able to protect those he cares about. I'm saying that Naruto and Sasuke's actual personality is still kind of the same, but it has changed to the fact that through the influences of Naruto, who has been a kind of friend towards Sasuke as well as a rival, Sasuke does now have a lighter side to him. Guy suddenly appears and takes Sasuke back to the village, but before he can take Sasuke asks Naruto to train him to fully master his breathing techniques and to master the breath of the flame breath, and goes and kind of begs Naruto to help train him, as he wants to become much stronger. Naruto agrees to this, telling Sasuke that when he arrives back at the village, he will help train Sasuke to master his breath, as well as master the flame breathing, in which Sasuke thanks Naruto and goes back with Guy back to the village to begin his training once again. After the whole fight happens, the next day, Naruto and Jiraiya continue their mission to find Tsunade, and Jiraiya decides to teach Naruto one of his father's strongest techniques, that being the Rasengan. Showing Naruto the Rasengan, Naruto can see, using the see-through world, which is basically kind of like the Byakugan, can see how to do the technique, and does it in his first try. Jiraiya, baffled by this, asks Naruto how he was able to master on his first try, in which Naruto explains that he can see the direction of the chakra and the kind of just how the chakra spins, and how much chakra is needed to do it, as he can see using the see-through world. Jiraiya tells Naruto that being able to see through people is like the Byakugan, but Naruto is also able to see the muscles and blood of the person, which is kind of like the Sharingan in a way, to be able to predict the moves, and tells Naruto that this isn't normal and this could be a type of Kikigenkai, and says that it could be something to do with the mark on his forehead that spreads during a fight, and tells Naruto that this could be a new Kikigenkai from the Uzumaki clan, or he doesn't tell who his father is yet, because he doesn't really need to know at this time. Naruto, who thought that everyone could see through people and see the muscles and blood, now realizes that isn't the case anymore. Jiraiya learns of Tsunade's location through going through more little, not really villages, but little cities and type of thing, and the two set out to meet her. Meanwhile, Orochimaru is suffering from his last encounter with the third Hokage. His arms are unable to perform any jutsu and are constantly bringing him pain at the same time. Knowing that his assistant, Kabuto, medicine can do nothing to help him, Orochimaru concludes that the only person that can restore his arms now is Tsunade. Knowing where Tsunade is and her current location, he and Kabuto go out to find her. Elsewhere, Tsunade, who is a very unlucky gambler, hits a winning streak, indicating to her that something bad is about to happen, and as such, she tries to flee the city. Her assistant Shizune asks Tsunade if they can go see the local landmarks first, to which Tsunade reluctantly agrees. As Shizune admires an ancient castle, Tsunade repeatedly asks her to hurry up, but suddenly the castle collapses, from the rubble emerges Orochimaru and Kabuto riding a giant snake. Unhappy to see her old teammate, Tsunade refuses to heal Orochimaru, deducing that his ailment is from his appearance alone. After Kabuto states that only Tsunade can help Orochimaru, Tsunade inquires how he got the injury, recognizing that it is far from the average wound. Nonchalantly, Orochimaru explains that it is nothing more than from his own carelessness when he was killing the third Hokage. The revelation of which shocks Shizune as well as Tsunade. She's a lot of S's. Noticing the expression of the two's faces, Orochimaru comments that all people die and reminds Tsunade of her two deceased loved ones, that being her lover and her brother. This observation enrages Tsunade, who attempts to strike Orochimaru, though Kabuto blocks the attack. After claiming Shizune down and casually scolding Orochimaru for what he said, Tsunade punches the wall next to her, reducing it to gravel, and vows to kill him if she ever sees him again. After repeating her refusal to help Orochimaru, Tsunade prepares to fight them in an event that they won't leave. Just as she is about to attack, Orochimaru offers to revive her dead brother and her lover if she helps him, stopping Tsunade before she can act. Finally, considering the offer, Tsunade asks what Orochimaru will do if his arms are healed, to which he replies that he will destroy Konoha. Elsewhere, Jiraiya and Naruto have arrived in the city, and the two visit Tsunade's last known location, where they hear reports of a giant snake destroying a castle. Jiraiya recognizes this as one of Orochimaru's acts, and as such, rushes to the castle. Shizune, meanwhile, is infuriated by Orochimaru's proposal of destroying Konoha, and tries to persuade Tsunade into helping her kill the weakened Orochimaru. Although Tsunade refuses, Orochimaru sheds some of his own blood to make sure she keeps her word, knowing that Tsunade suffers from a fear of blood. With Tsunade forced into submission by the sight of blood, Orochimaru allows her a week to consider the offer, and he and Kabuto disappear. When Jiraiya and Naruto arrive at the scene, Tsunade and Shizune have already left, and they decide to give up the search for the day. Jiraiya takes Naruto to a local bar for dinner, where he surprisingly finds Tsunade and Shizune already having dinner by themselves. They walk up to them, and Jiraiya greets the two, and they all sit down together, with both ordering their own meals to eat for dinner. As Naruto is eating his dinner, Jiraiya asks Tsunade what Orochimaru wanted from her, to which she replies nothing, quickly changing the subject to what Jiraiya wants from her, as he tells her that Konoha wants her to be the next Hokage. Naruto begins to choke on his food with surprise, and Tsunade and Shizune use this as a confirmation that Orochimaru really had killed the third Hokage. Tsunade declines the position, saying that only a fool wants to become a Hokage, and goes on to ridicule the past Hokages. Tsunade's words anger Naruto, and he stops eating his food to tell Tsunade that she is wrong, and that it is pitiful for the village elders to even think of her becoming the next Hokage. Tsunade, who was enraged by this, yells back at Naruto about what does he know about being Hokage, and what does he know about loss, and Naruto, now raising his voice, tells her that he will become the next Hokage in the future, and to not bash his dream that he is striving for. Naruto, in the spur of the moment, challenges Tsunade to a fight, saying that if he wins, Tsunade is going to become the next Hokage and accept the honor of becoming the Hokage, and take back her words of what she said about the past Hokage. Impressed that Naruto was willing to challenge her, Tsunade agrees to fight him, going so far to say that she'll only use one finger. Jiraiya, hearing this, tells Tsunade not to underestimate the brat, but Tsunade doesn't listen, telling him that he's only a pitiful genin, and that she is still a Sannin, much stronger than him. They go outside and Naruto goes into a stance, unsheathing his blade, with Tsunade just standing there. Naruto's blade turns from black to red, as he's using the red blade now, which increases the strength of the blade as well as Naruto. Shizune begins the fight, and Naruto dashes towards Tsunade in an instant, looking as if he teleported right in front of her, and uses solar heat haze, which is one of the techniques of the Breath of the Sun. Tsunade is baffled by the speed in which Naruto came at her, but is unimpressed with the swordsmanship as she sees the blade, the slash, and sees the haze of the blade, and thinks that Naruto is about to miss her. But in the next second, it hits, with Naruto slashing Tsunade on the forehead, stopping when the blade is about to reach her neck, and telling her that he has won the fight, and that if she doesn't want to be killed, and that if he didn't stop, she would have been killed. All three of the people present were again baffled that Naruto had actually won, and the main ones being Tsunade and Shizune are even more baffled. And Naruto, while they are confused or baffled again, tells Tsunade that because he has won, she needs to come back to the village and become the 5th Hokage, as he doesn't want this mission to be a failure and be on his record, and then proceeds to use a talk no jutsu on her, telling her that she has been given a great honor of becoming the 5th Hokage, and that her ancestors, like her great uncle and grandfather, and her loved ones would be ashamed of what she has become now, a drunk gambler who ridicules them. Tsunade, now seeing her younger brother in Naruto, agrees with what he said, and gives Naruto her necklace, saying that she believes that Naruto will become the next Hokage, and when the time is right, she'll give him the hat. Tsunade, now agreeing to go back to the village, heals her face first, and tells Jiraiya about Orochimaru and the plan of what to heal his arms for reviving her dead loved ones. Jiraiya tells Tsunade that this is a terrible idea, and that reviving them is even worse of an idea, and they now have to come up with a plan to kill that slimy snake once and for all. In the next few days, Naruto is training for the upcoming battle, and agrees to and with the agreement to meet Orochimaru for the plan to kill him. With the plan now going ahead, Tsunade meets with Kabuto and Orochimaru for the sneak-up plan. Tsunade and Orochimaru, meanwhile, meet at the site of their last conversation, and Tsunade agrees to heal Orochimaru's hands if he promises to leave Konoha alone. Orochimaru agrees to the stipulation, and Tsunade approaches him, preparing to heal him using a healing jutsu. But before she can make contact with Orochimaru, Kabuto appears, throwing a kunai between them, forcing the two to separate. Orochimaru, realizing what Kabuto has done, asks why, after coming so far, Tsunade was betraying him. Kabuto notes that because both he and Tsunade are medic nin, he could notice the subtle amounts of killing intent within her jutsu. Orochimaru laments Tsunade's decision, even saying that he really had the intention to stay away from Konoha if she did agree to heal him. Tsunade dismisses that this is a lie, yet says that she had been willing to believe it if it meant that she could see her loved ones again. Because of Naruto, however, the dreams of Nawaki and Dan returned to her, and thus she couldn't bring herself to turn a blind eye to Orochimaru's goals to effectively destroy the hopes that they had once had. With that, Tsunade attempts to attack Orochimaru, though because of the timely dodge of her attack missed, creating an even larger crater on where they had just been. As Orochimaru prepares to fight Tsunade, he comments that he had never battled her before, although Kabuto quickly questions this observation, since he will actually be the one who will fight her. After Kabuto informs Orochimaru of Jiraiya's presence, they lead Tsunade away, not wanting to fight in the city in case Jiraiya shows up with Naruto and Shizune. With the fight now happening, Jiraiya suddenly appears with Naruto and Shizune, in which Jiraiya is not poisoned from Tsunade, and the three, Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Orochimaru, Kabuto using the summoning jutsu to bring in their individual summons, being the toad, the slug, and the snake, with them starting off with the fight. And meanwhile, Naruto fights with Kabuto, who is also backed up with Shizune. Kabuto, believing that he is much more superior to Naruto in strength, tells Naruto that he is on par with Kakashi in skill and strength, and the fight begins with Kabuto greatly underestimating Naruto. Naruto, in one swift strike, uses Dance, the first form of the Breath of the Sun, and delivers a vertical strike to Kabuto, killing him instantly, as his body is now split into two parts. With that done, and the fight between a crippled Orochimaru and Jiraiya and Tsunade, who has now gotten over the fear of blood from the fight with Naruto, the fight basically ends. But before they could capture Orochimaru, he uses the snake summoning to unsummon him away from there. It's like a reverse summoning technique. With the fight now over and everyone deciding to go back to the village, as they won't be able to find Orochimaru, and Kabuto is also dead. Upon their return, Naruto heard that the village of Konoha must continue their missions as normal. Iruka explained to Naruto, over a bowl of ramen of course, that they must not show the other villagers that they are currently weak, so they must do as many missions as they had done before Orochimaru's invasion, even though their strength has been cut in half. Tsunade was well known as a great medical ninja, and she healed Sasuke from any injuries that he got from Itachi, as well as Kakashi of their ailments during the fight they received with Itachi. She visited Lee, who was badly injured during his fight with Gaara in the second part of the exam, which was the survival part, after persistently nagging from other characters, and told him that he should probably give up on being a ninja, as there were fragments of bone in his spine, and the one operation that could be done by her only had a 50% chance of either curing or killing him. But some more looking into it, she later heals him, so really none of that really mattered, as he's now been healed as he took the chance. Later that week, Naruto meets up with Sasuke to go over training that they'll be doing during that time, and I'm going to get the whole thing. Later that week, Naruto meets up with Sasuke to go over training, and during the time Naruto has been away from Sasuke, Sasuke has managed to master and be able to easily perform the third form of the flame breathing, which is the third form Blazing Universe. With Naruto continuously train Sasuke with all his effort now, he is now able to perform the fourth form Blooming Flame Undulation, I think it's as well as the fifth form Flame Tiger. Back with Jiraiya and Tsunade after a month of doing all those missions and stuff and training Sasuke, Jiraiya tells her that he wants to take Naruto out for a training trip and asks for permission to take him out of the village for 3 years, as the Akatsuki are starting to make their moves for the Jinchuriki. Tsunade seeing the threat in the Akatsuki, as they are all S-rank ninjas and they are going after the Jinchuriki of each of the villages, as the attack to Naruto just before they'd met. She agrees to this and calls for all those who pass the tuning exams to her office. With Naruto, Sasuke, as well as Shikamaru, who didn't actually pass the exam but did have great skills during the invasion as well as during the tests as well in the exam, were all granted the rank of Chunin, being the first of their grade to become Chunin, as they all showed great skills during the exam as well as the invasion of the Leaf. Tsunade also tells Naruto that he will go on a training trip with Jiraiya for 3 years, and with Naruto telling her that he doesn't actually want to go on the trip, as he has promised to Sasuke that he will help him training, and he never goes back on his promises. Naruto offers a counter to the mission, telling her that he wants Sasuke to come with him, as he wants to help train with these forms of swordsmanship, and that Jiraiya can handle two Chunin during this time, as they are both really strong, Naruto being the stronger. With there being no Sasuke retrieval arc, this is where the OG Naruto really ends, so let's just get right onto Shippuden now. To prepare for the eventual confrontation with both Akatsuki and Orochimaru, as they know that he's still out there and he's planning to come and destroy the village once more, finding a new host for, like, his weird ass jutsu. Naruto and Sasuke, as well as Jiraiya, leave the village and underwent intensive training under Jiraiya, as well as Sasuke under Naruto. At the same time, Sakura becomes Tsunade's apprentice after Naruto had told her that she is a promising ninja and that she could benefit greatly from her teachings. With Naruto also leaving a scroll and stone breathing for Sakura so she can train with it as well as Tsunade's teachings. When Naruto and Sasuke returned to the village, 2.5 years had passed, and Naruto and Sasuke are both at the age of 16. The two are acquainted with their friends, who have all risen to the rank of Chunin in their absence, as well as most of them become Chunin. Kankuro and Tamaru become Jonin, as well as Neji, with Gaara becoming the 5th Kazekage. During the training of Naruto and Sasuke, Naruto has become even stronger now, being able to have the skills to be able to beat Jiraiya in only one move. Basically, he's so overpowered at this point. It's just crazy. He's got like legendary skills. With Sasuke, however, while he was on the training trip, he was able to master the flame breath, as well as start to make a new type of breathing style, which is, drumroll please, the breath of the moon. Alright, so I'm doing this because I want to have more parallels between Naruto and Sasuke, just like the parallels between Yoriichi and I've forgotten who's the breath of the moon guy. It's like Kaga. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't even matter. Anyway, I'm doing this because the parallels of Naruto being Ashura's reincarnation of the sun, and Sasuke being Indira's of the moon, and how they have those marks at the end of Naruto. So I want to have that type of thing be implemented into their breathing styles as well. As well as Sasuke also having during the trip, he also awakened his Demon Slayer mark during the trip. I am making a change to this mark as well, as now it won't kill you at the age of 25, but instead, when someone does awaken it, it will have massive chakra consumption when using it, and they'll only be able to use it for like a second, or not really a second, but they'll only be able to use it for a small amount of bit. This is excluding Naruto, as he was born with it, so Sasuke, with the Demon Slayer mark, would have all the things that you get with it, which is like the see-through world. It's not like a permanent thing, so the mark will just appear and disappear on Sasuke's face. So instead of like a fire, it will have crescent moons on his face. So it will kind of be like the curse mark type of situation for Sasuke. I thought that was a pretty cool implement that I thought of. I'd also like to say that Sasuke is on a level of a high to mid Kage, but still is nothing compared to Naruto, as he always lost to him in 1 or 2 moves during their spars on the trip. So now we'll go on to... Jiraiya left Naruto and Sasuke with Kakashi, along with Sakura, and the 3 of them, as well as Kakashi, become like reunite as Team 7. To commemorate the event, they conduct another bell test, but Naruto and Sakura succeeded in attempting to reveal the ending of Ichi Paradise versus Kakashi, and in the second, all of them would use their individual breathing techniques to be able to get the bells, with just like, I'll say Sakura got one of the bells, and like Sasuke and the other one, Naruto, not getting it because he wasn't really trying. It was kind of like, it's kind of hard to explain. Anyway, they just beat Kakashi in like an instant, because Kakashi is still like fodder compared to them now. We're going to the rescue Gaara arc now. In the Sand Village, the Akatsuki duo, Deidara and Sasori, made their way to the village in search of Gaara. Deidara went off to fight Gaara alone, while Sasori guarded the entrance. Gaara intercepted Deidara during the battle, and managed to crush one of Deidara's arms using a sand-binding coffin. Despite his improved ability, Gaara's newfound desire to defend the Sand Village proved to be his own downfall, when Deidara tried to destroy the village with his explosive clay. Gaara absorbed the blast by levitating his sand below, and directed the attack by Deidara force onto him, and to recall all the sand, which did crush Deidara's arm, but also the explosion did get him as well. After Deidara departed with Gaara, Kankuro attempted to stop the Akatsuki members alone, but his puppets were easily defeated and fought off by Sasori, who was revealed to be the maker of Kankuro's puppets. Sasori poisoned Kankuro in the process, leaving him to die in the sand. With the Akatsuki duo taking off with Gaara back to their lair, where their leader summoned a giant statue to extract and seal Gaara's demon, being the One Tails. The sealing ritual took 3 days to do. Upon hearing of Gaara's kidnapping, Team Kakashi leave for the Sand Village, and on their way they meet there and are joined by Temari, who is on their way back from Suna's representation at the Chunin's exams in Konoha. On their way, Naruto told Sakura and Sasuke knew during his time of the thing, but he also told Sakura and Temari that he is the host of the Nine Tails, and that the Akatsuki are after the demon inside of Gaara as well. After learning this, Sakura vowed to do everything she could to protect Naruto from being a victim from the Akatsuki, as she has a much greater respect for Naruto because of all he's done to help her become a very strong Konoichi for the village, as well as helping her have a much better relationship with Sasuke, as she's become a worthy enough Konoichi to stand by Sasuke. Their relationship, Sasuke and Sakura, would have been able to process at a much faster rate than the original, with Sasuke not upbraiding, just hating Sakura for her being so useless and having a fangirlish type of attitude, but instead they both respect each other and are starting to have feelings for each other. Temari was thankful that there was finally someone who could understand Gaara, and is grateful to Naruto for changing Gaara and attempting to save him. Upon arriving at the Sand Village, Team Kakashi learned about the attack on Kankuro. Despite the failed attempt by medic ninjas on hand, Sakura cured Kankuro, thus demonstrating her skill with medical techniques. Sakura also developed several portable antidotes rather quickly, using a piece of Sasori's clothing found on one of Kankuro's destroyed puppets. Team Kakashi was able to track him, thus leading them to Gaara. Temari offered to assist them, but Lady Chira, after another puppeteer with Sasori's grandmother, went in her place. Back in Konoha, Tsunade decides to send Team Guys back up for Team Kakashi, just in case there are more Akatsuki members that meet up with the two, as she doesn't actually know the full capabilities of Naruto at this point, and have only been told a few things from Jiraiya on their trip. While Team Kakashi tracked down Sasori through the piece of clothing, the Akatsuki leader sent Itachi and Kisame to deal with Team Kakashi and the approaching Team Guy, respectively. In the forest, Kakashi and Naruto were able to defeat Itachi, mainly Sasuke, but we know that isn't the real Itachi. So Sasuke has gone his first step in his plans to kill and revenge his clan. So that would have been just a one-on-one fight. With I would also like to say that Sasuke's Sharingan was also 3 Tomoe in each eye, so he is fully able to master his Sharingan, as it has the same type of effect as Naruto's see-through world. So I think that'd probably be really good for both of them. Kisame would also be killed in an instant, or the clone of Kisame type of thing, by Naruto, using the first form dance to just split and kill Kisame in a moment. So that pretty much is the end of that. Despite their victories, the two teams realized their battles were distractions to buy time for the Akatsuki to extract Shikaku from Gaara, which would kill him if completed. At the Akatsuki hideout, a barrier was blocking the entrance. Directed by Kakashi, Team Guy removed the 4 seals maintaining the barrier, and a failsafe created clones of one of them as a further distraction. yeah, so Naruto, Sakura, and Kakashi, as well. Did I say Sasuke? Yeah. They would all in, and they would be meted with Deidara and Sasori guarding the lifeless body of Gaara, which led to Naruto being angered by seeing someone that he considered a friend and someone that he could relate to being a Jinchuriki. Would be angered and immediately use Sunflower Thrust to stab his sword into Deidara. In an instant, however, Sasori would help try to defend Sasori, but Naruto would use Setting Sun transformation and backflips into the air and delivers a powerful upended sword slash and decapitates Sasori. Sasori, now being headless, uses his heart and stuff to go out, and Naruto would just use the Raging Sun over and over again and would slash at all the hearts and would kill Sasori in just an instant type of thing. So before anyone can even realize what's really happening, Deidara, who is still pushed back and trying to recover from the stab wound from Naruto, Sasuke would come in and he would use the ninth form Rengoku and would deliver a dashing slash, which is just kind of it's kind of hard to explain, with a massive form of a Japanese dragon forming around the sword, and Deidara would be killed as well. So Deidara wouldn't be getting out there alive this time, and that would be the end of that. Lady Chiro, who would then sacrifice her life to bring back Gaara. So Gaara is now alive, and that's pretty much the end of that. So that's where I'm going to leave this episode off now, part 4. This was a pretty long or regular type of video. I just wrote this, so yeah. The reason why a lot of the things I say kind of gets muddled up is I'm actually starting to write these scripts out beforehand, but I have dyslexia, which is a very big problem for me, so some of these words just get muddled up. So yeah, if you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button. It really means a lot to me with these upgrowing growth of my channel, and it really makes me want to complete and do more of these series. But yeah, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe button again. In the comments, say any type of what if you guys want to see from the channel. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.